Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. We are here today for a bit of light-hearted fun. And if you do like light-hearted fun, I actually have a second channel where we're messing around making comedic videos. I encourage you to check it out. I'll link it after the video. But either way, we're here to talk about a specific new legendary creature from the Ikoria release. Now, is this individual from Ikoria itself? I assume so. I mean, we have a situation where we're dealing with a card that comes from the Ikoria commander decks, where it's like, are those commander decks set on Ikoria, or is it just called Ikoria Commander to just tie it to the set? I don't know. I gotta be real with you. This whole Ikoria release has been one gigantic mismatched mess in terms of every aspect of it, really. So this shouldn't surprise me any further. Let's hop up on the screen here, the card that we're going to talk about, and that is Kelsien the Plague, okay? He is the character we're going to be focusing on for this amusing chuckle that we shall have overall. So, what is Kelsien the Plague? 1 black, 1 white, 1 red for a 2/2 human assassin legendary creature. It has vigilance and haste. Kelsien the Plague gets +1/+1 for each experience counter you have. And tap, Kelson deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control. When that creature dies this turn, you get an experience counter. So the idea behind Kelson here, on the surface of it, like, flavorfully, he is supposed to be an assassin, clearly, right? Like, that, it's very, very obvious that's the idea behind him. When you take a look at the artwork, you can see Kelsien here. He is crouched up in the canopy of a tree. He's kind of half shrouded in shadows. He's got like a cloak on. He's got a mask to mask his identity. And he's got these glowing white eyes coming out from behind the mask. Now, obviously, he's going to be one of those, like a sniper style assassin. That's the feeling that this gives with the vigilance and haste. It makes it sound like he's always prepared, right? Like he's always ready. He's waiting and watching in perfect stillness. And the experience counter concept that they bring over from Commander here is something that I really enjoy, in all honesty. Experience counters are funky in that they are counters that a player gains as opposed to a permanent in play. And they just represent a gaining in experience of really, at the end of the day, the person playing the game. But you can also translate that experience concept into the creature itself, whereas Kelsien has taken down more targets. The more he takes down, the more he learns. The more he learns, the stronger he grows. And that's directly correlated in the tap ability, where he's doing a damage to any target. And then every time that happens, if the creature ends up going to the graveyard, that's a successful maneuver for Kelson, so he grows in experience from it. And like that whole experience leveling up and power thing, that's something used in tons of video games and whatever. It's a very straightforward concept that I like. I really do enjoy the artwork concept as well. The whole card ties together on its own. This card ties together very, very well flavorfully. You can see on his arrow there's a little bit of green on it. And that, to me, is kind of like he's developing poisons. The way that I view this is Kelsien grows in strength more by learning how to make more and more potent, like, gear overall. That's just the vibe I get. I don't know. Just with the mask, the cloak, and everything, I feel like his experience counters are learning from previous interactions and making himself more prepared with better gear, poisoned arrows, all that goodness. Also, the crystal looks pretty cool poking up in the back of his artwork. Now, the flavor text adds to the concept of him being a very sneaky, silent sort of individual as well, because the flavor text says, aim for an eye, better they never see you. And this is going to be where a lot of the humor of the scenario comes from. So, there's a couple of takeaways that I want you to note for this card right now. First of all, note its casting cost. Note that it's red, white, and black, okay? You want to note that. You want to note the very hidden nature of this guy. He's going to wait in a tree with vigilance, just waiting to snipe you at a moment where you're not expecting it. That's what we're looking at. And the flavor text adds to it. Aim for an eye, better they never see you. On top of not wanting to be spotted, he wants to remove his prey's ability to ever see anything. I mean, that's a good way to make them very, very vulnerable, right? Aiming for the eyes makes a lot of sense. And also, I want you to note that he has a mask that he's wearing where you can't actually see his eyes, where there's light emanating from inside that, and you can't see his eyes. Because the next card that we're going to look at is tied to him specifically, and it's just absolutely absurd when you contrast it to the actual Kelsien card. And the card I'm talking about is Hampering Snare. So the first thing you're probably going to notice is this is a blue card. And wait, didn't we just talk about how Kelsien is white, red, and black? Why would Kelsien have anything to do with the blue card? Well, what is it? It's a Hampering Snare for 2 mana. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-0 until end of turn. And it's got cycling too. So you know what? You could see from a perspective how this could be connected to this sort of like hunter-assassin Kelsien. The idea of laying traps, having snares that will make your prey immobilized or weaker, basically lessen the threat that they are to you, because Kelsien seems like a very hands-off, I'm going to stay back and get you from afar style individual. So a snare falls into that concept, right? Sure, okay, you know, nail them that way. But then the flavor text is where everything goes off the rails. The flavor text of Hampering Snare says, I want it to look me in the eyes and know the face of the man who put it down. And that's Kelsien the Plague. Literally, it says, I want it to look me in the eyes. You said a second ago you aim for the eyes so it's better they never see you. What? I want it to look me in the eyes and know the face of the man who put it down. It can't look you in the eyes because there is light emanating out of the mask that you're wearing. Incidentally, when you're wearing a mask, that means it also can't look into the face of the man who put it down. This whole card, the Hampering Snare, completely contradicts the entire flavor that they gave Kelson the Plague in his original card. If you read the Hampering Snare flavor text, that seems like something that would be attributed more to, oh, I don't know, like a big hulking barbarian, some massive warrior that is known for just like, no. I will overpower and crush my enemy. I will just strike them down. I want them to look at my face and no fear. Look me directly in the eyes as I destroy you. So why would they attribute that to Kelsien, where Kelsien is literally hiding his face, hiding his eyes, and saying specifically to aim for their eyes, shoot them in the eyes so they can't see you. I want it to look me in the eyes and know what? What sick games are you playing, Kelsien? What sort of scenarios can we come up with where this makes sense? One, Kelsien has multiple personalities. And one of his personalities is like, don't let them see you. Hide in the tree. Wait up here. And then his other personality is get right up in their face. And it's just got to be disappointing sometimes, depending on which personality is in control. You have a scenario where the one that wants to get up in their face comes second, and it's like Kelsien's like, oh, all right, it's already, you can't see me. Somebody already shot it in the eye. Oh, it was me? Or you've got another scenario where you can have it basically like the flavor text from Hampering Snare, where Kelsien was just like, I want it to look me in the eyes and know the face of the man who put it down. Like Kelsien's all like, yeah, I'm really strong. I'm really awesome. I'm going to get right up in their face. But then maybe something mutated on him at the last second and was just like, surprise, I'm actually not a squirrel anymore. I'm a gigantic death whale. And it's like, oh no. And Kelsien got all messed up. And he's like, I don't want it to look me in the eyes anymore. I don't want it to know my face. I'm putting on a mask. I'm going to put lights behind it so you can't see the eyes. I'm going to hide in trees. And we're going to take it a step further to make sure this never happens again. We have a policy of arrows to the eyes at all times. Like, that's the only scenario I can see that makes this work. And this was just too funny to me. As somebody who genuinely appreciates flavor and likes to actually go over the cards to draw information about characters, because that's what I do. For a bunch of the lore videos that I've done on the channel, and by the way, there is a lore playlist on this channel with like 100 lore videos. So if you like lore videos, feel free to check that out. But anyways, as someone who likes to actually read the cards and get into the flavor of what's going on in the world, it is pretty amazingly hilarious to have a scenario where it's like, okay, wait a minute. These two flavor texts, like they're in direct contradiction to such a hilarious degree. Ikoria overall has felt like a kind of like a rushed mess, as nothing connects together. The whole thing is just lacking anything to pull it together into something cohesive. And I find that this quote from Kelsien that completely contradicts the character that is painted by his actual card is absolutely amazingly funny. So I figured, you know what? We would all have a good laugh. I hope that you found that to be some lighthearted fun, because it's genuinely amusing to me. If you enjoyed the video, you know what? Like, share, do the subscribing. That's all great for the channel. Leaving comments is good times as well. I want to thank my patrons and channel members for supporting the channel. It does mean a lot to me. To all of you, I say thanks for coming by, and I'll see all of you lovely people very soon.